Okay, so in the last lecture we had started our ring theory discussions, and we had did till the concept of zero divisors and integral domains. In the previous lecture we had just discussed the definition, right? Zero divisors and integral domain definition we had discussed there. Let us start from zero divisors and integral domains itself. So what were zero divisors? What were zero divisors? So suppose you have a ring R, okay, and xy belongs to this ring. So x and y are zero divisors, zero divisors of R. Okay, x and y are zero divisors of R if xy equals 0, if and only if, let's say, xy equals 0 but x not equals 0 and y not equals 0. Is it clear? Is it clear? So you have a ring R and you take two elements xy from R. So x and y are zero divisors of R. If xy equals 0 but x is not equal to 0 and y is not equal to 0. That is the product of two non-zero elements gives you 0. Then the non-zero elements become your zero divisors. Okay. Example, if you take Z8. Okay. So Z8 have elements 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. So if you take say 2 and 4 and you do the multiplication modulo 8, because this is Z8, right? So you will have to do the multiplication modulo 8, because Z8 is a ring, addition modulo 8 and product modulo 8, right? So this will become 0. Reason is 2 times 4 is 0 mod 8, right? So but neither 2 is 0 nor 4 is 0. Okay. So 2 and 4 makes zero divisors of Z8. Is it clear? You can also take example of the M2 into 2 matrix. M2 into 2 matrix. Okay. So in the case of M2 into 2 matrix, what will you have? So a very fine example is that 1 0 0 0 and 0 0 1 0. Okay. These two matrices when multiplied you will get, so 1 0 and 0 1. So this is 0 1 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 1 0 and 0 0 0 0 0. Okay, so this is a zero matrix, null matrix. Okay, null matrix, null matrix. So you get the element 0, but this is neither equal to 0 nor this is equal to 0. Clear? So these two matrices make zero divisors of this ring. I guess this part is clear. Okay, what are zero divisors? Okay. So the next important portion is the concept of integral domains. Integral domains. Okay, integral domains. How come? So in the previous lecture, I guess I had discussed the definition of what is an integral domain. So suppose you have a ring R. So R is an integral domain ID if and only if R is a commutative ring with unity and R has no zero divisor. Clear? Clear? So you have a ring R, then R will be called an integral domain if and only if R is a commutative ring with unity and R has no zero divisors. Is it clear? If we talk about examples, then Z is an example of integral domain. R plus dot Q plus dot C plus dot. These are all examples of integral domains. Okay. A very important statement about integral domains, I should be giving you this, that every field, okay, every field is an integral domain, but the converse is not true. Okay, every field is an integral domain. The example is the, see, R is a field and an integral domain, Q a field and integral domain, C a field and integral domain. But Z is an integral domain but not a field. Okay, Z is an integral domain but not a field. So but the converse is not true. That was what I was trying to say. Okay, is it clear? Suppose you have this particular ring, let's say. Okay, you know what is this set? So this is AB such that A belongs to Z and B belongs to Z. Okay, so will it be uh, an integral domain? Will it be an integral domain? So let us see whether it is having a zero divisor or not. So it is very easy to see that you have 1 0 and 0 1 in this particular set, and their product will give you 0 0. Okay, but 1 0 and 0 1 are not equal to 0, therefore this is having zero divisors, so cannot be integral domain. Clear? Clear? uh, Continuous functions on 0 1 is also not an integral domain. You can check it on your own. Brush up the concept of zero function, then you will be easily able to do this. Okay, is it clear? Okay, let's move on to the next slide. Suppose we talk about units. Okay, I mean, so now the topic which we will be talking about is units in a ring. Units, not unity, but units in a ring. Okay, so what are units in a ring? So suppose you take a ring R. Suppose you take a ring R and you choose an element from R. If X is invertible, if X is invertible, that is the inverse of X exists, then X is said to be an unit of R. Then X is an unit of R. Is it clear? Is it clear? Okay. Okay. Hmm. Let's take examples, right? So if you take the ring Z plus dot, okay. Uh, so what are the elements in this particular ring which are invertible? Which are invertible. So in this case, you have only two elements, 1 and minus 1. Only 1 and minus 1 are the invertible elements. Only 1 and minus 1 are the invertible elements, right? Are the invertible elements. Yeah. If you take, say, Z4, what will you have as the invertible elements? You will have 1 and 3. If you take Z6, what will you have? You will have 1 and 5. Okay, basically unit of Zn. Okay, this is the symbol of notation of writing the unit of a particular ring. So unit of Zn is basically given as mu n. Mu n means the set of all the coprimes of n, right? For example, what will be the u of Z8? Mu 8, that is 1, 3, 5, 7, right? U Z10, mu 10, this will be 1, 3, 7 and 9, right? Similarly, u Z20, mu of 20, this will be 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 10, 11, 13, 15, 16, 17, 19, right? What are the number of coprimes below 20? So 20 can be written as 2 into 2 into 5. So 5 of 20 should be equals to 20 into 1 minus 1 by 2, 1 minus 1 by 5. This is the concept of totient function. Okay. So this is equals to 20 into 1 by 2 into 4 by 5. Right. So 2, 5 to the 10, 2 and 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah. Okay. Phi of n gives you number of coprimes. Okay. The formula is n into 1 minus 1 by p, 1 minus 1 by q, and it keeps on continuing, where n is of the form p to the power a, q to the power b, okay, and so on. P, q are primes. These are prime factors. Basically, p, q are prime factors of n. Okay. Acha, clear how to find the units of Zn ring? Is it clear? Is it clear? Basically, I am again writing this here. If you write like this, na, UR, this means collection of all units of R as a ring. Clear? Clear? Okay. Okay. Hmm. Now let's talk about what can be the unit of mn into n matrix R plus dot. What will be this particular set? So this is the set of general linear one, okay, of n into R, n into R, okay, okay. What was this set? You remember? What was this set? You remember? General linear group. You remember? General linear group with natural multiple of R. Input as natural multiple of R. So general linear group was a group formed from matrices, right? And the matrices were invertible. The matrices had determinant non-zero. Any matrix inside this particular set is having determinant non-zero. Determinant non-zero. That's why they are invertible, right? A, if A is a matrix, if A is a matrix and mod A is zero, then what was the formula of A inverse? 1 over modulus of A into A dj. So if mod A was 0, then this would have become undefined, right? So A inverse exists only if modulus of A is not 0. I mean determinant of A is not 0, not modulus. Determinant of A is not 0. Clear? Clear? Okay. Okay. Acha, if I say that let's find the zero divisors of some particular sets, how to do so? Let's say find all the zero divisors of Z6. Okay. Let's form an operation table. So Z6, right? So Z6 will have 6 elements, right? So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here also same 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Okay, now you can easily form this. So 0, 0. So this will completely be 0. This one will be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is 0, 2, 4, 3 to the 6. So this becomes 0. 4 to the 8 becomes 2. 5 to the 10 becomes 4. This is 0, 3, 0, 9, 3. 4 to the 12, 0. This is 15 is 3. Then you have 0, 4. 8 means 2, 12, 0, 16 is 4, and 20 is 2. So 0, this is 5, 1, 5, 5 to 10, 10 is 4, 15 is 3, 20 is 2, 25 is 1. Right? I hope this operation table is clear. These things you people already should have known when you are, studying ring theory. Okay, we have just used multiplication modulo 6. So what are the zero divisors we can see from here? So see, this column and this column, just leave them because you have 0, 0 here. So we just need to see, the every single grid except the first row and the first column. Okay, so here we have 0. So 2 and 3 are zero divisors. Here we have 0. 2 and 3 we have already written. Here we have 0. 4 and 3 are zero divisors. 4 and 3 are zero divisors. Yeah, 4 and 3 are zero divisors. So these two zero divisors we will be getting. These two zero divisors we will be getting. Okay. Okay. Acha. Now, how to basically find zero divisors of Zn ring? Okay. How to basically find zero divisors of Zn ring? Zero divisors of Zn ring. So the result is, or the conclusion which we can use to find the zero divisors of Zn ring is that in this ring Zn, every non-zero element is either unit or zero divisor. Okay. Now how to find unit? Unit of Zn is mu of n, right? So first find the units of Zn and then find what are the rest of the elements left. Those will be zero divisors. I mean, just we can verify this from here itself. See, so what we had here, so we have zero, number of zero divisors we got is basically 3, I guess. 2, 3 and 4. Right. Let's see whether this is basically true or not. Okay, so what are the units of Z6? Mu of 6, which is 1, then you have 5, right? So what are the elements left? So basically 0, 0 divisors of Z6 is equals to Z6 minus units. So 1 and 5 are gone, so you are left with 2, 3 and 4, and this is what we got there, right? So these are the 0 divisors. Clear? Is it clear? I just gave you the verification. Is it clear, guys? How to find 0 divisors of Z in ring? Okay. Okay. So this much is clear, I guess. Okay. Acha. The next important concept which we are going to study now is the concept of idempotent sets and nilpotent sets. Okay. Idempotent sets okay. So what are idempotent sets? So suppose you have R as a ring. Suppose you have R as a ring. Okay. And you take an element from R. Then we say that this particular element will be an idempotent element. This particular element will be an idempotent element. E is idempotent. E is idempotent if and only if E square is equals to E. Clear? So you take an element from R and you check whether it's a square or it's, product twice, multiplication twice gives you the same element. If that happens, then we say that that particular element is an idempotent element. And the set of all idempotent elements of some particular ring is said to be an idempotent set. Is it clear? Is it clear? Let's take example Z4. So Z4 have 0, 1, 2, 3. Okay. Acha. What is 0 square 0? What is 1 square 1? What is 2 square? 2 square is 4, so 0. 3 square is 9, so 1. That means you have only two idempotent elements, 0 and 1. And this set is an idempotent set. Clear? Idempotent sets clear? Idempotent elements rather. Okay. Talking about nilpotent ones. Okay. So nilpotent elements. Nilpotent elements. Sets. I mean, we will talk about both. Okay. So suppose you again take R, which is a ring, R, which is a ring, and you take an element from R. So this is said to be nilpotent if x to the power n is equals to 0 for some natural number n. Okay. So you have a ring, you take an element x from that particular ring, and that element is said to be nilpotent if x to the power n is equals to 0 or x multiplied n times, okay, gives you 0 for some n, for some natural number small n. Is it clear? Is it clear? Okay. So this is the concept of nilpotent elements. Okay. Now, um, let me think 1 second. Suppose if I tell you what are the or what is the number of idempotent elements in in Z4. Okay, what are the number of idempotent elements in Z4? Or let me increase this a bit, Z10, let's say. What are the number of idempotent elements in Z10? How will you find that? You can try it on your own. You can pause the video and try it on your own. I will give you a shortcut format. Okay, so what is the number of idempotent elements in Zn? How to find this? So if you have any Zn, if you have any Zn, number of idempotent elements, will be 2 to the power d. Okay, where d is the number of prime divisors, of n. Okay, number of prime divisors of n. In the previous one we saw Z4 had two idempotent elements. What were those? 0 and 1. So let's see whether we can verify that or not. So 4 has only one prime divisor, that is 2. So 2 to the power 1 is 2. That means we have only two idempotent elements in Z4, right? Similarly 10 can be written as 2 into 5. So the number of idempotent elements in Z10 will be 2 to the power 2, that is 4. Is it clear? Is it clear? What are the number of idempotent elements? Is it clear? So let this lecture be up till this much, guys. In the next lecture we will start with talking about how to find nilpotent elements, and we will be further increasing our lecture. So meet you guys in the next lecture.